Today we are going to learn about decision tree making and how is it actually using like important. So in even in AI, decision tree has very important role. So today we are going to explore decision tree. This is why even I have named the file as exploring decision tree. So what exactly is decision tree is nothing. No, it does mean something. So first of all, I will write nothing because I will need to erase it first of all. Like, okay, decision tree. So what exactly is decision tree is that it has many simple parts. Like if you know the roots of a plant, so take this as the root node. Like many roots emerge from here. So there are many roots coming out, like many roots. So when you see here, you can notice some points right here, such as this point, this point. So what happens here is that the like encoding part, programming part, these are actually the decision making parts. If the decision made is somewhat which supports this part, it would go downwards, and if it is not, it will go towards this side. Similarly, those are the root nodes where actual decisions are made, and so according to those decision it again goes further. Again going here, it has to again make a decision, go in either this direction or that direction. Similarly, same is the decision tree in Python programming, but it is formed little bit different. The first thing which we are going to learn new today is the while loop. So in while loop, there is nothing very great or very difficult to learn, but it is like a for loop in like in JavaScript, how we used to use for loop, which used to repeat it again and again, again and again until the condition which we had given is true. Similarly, in while loop, we write while and a condition in front of it. Until it is true, it keeps on going, and keeps on going. Similarly, I will write here as while and loop. So this is forms a while loop, and here you have to give your here you need to give your condition. If it is held true, then it further goes and runs the code inside the while loop, or else it does not run the code. That are the two things what happen with while loop. Doesn't run, I will write dn, and does run. So D. So that is like somewhat like two true or false like statements. So I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. So similarly is, but a while loop alone can't make a decision tree. So we also use some more if conditions, else if conditions, else conditions, and many more things. Like these are the things, and according to more if condition, else if condition, popularly known as elif conditions in Python. So using those, we find out whether it is like the decision tree is formed. Like here, you may say that this is the actual root system, but you may say that here there were two conditions. If the first condition was true, the root node would image towards this side. But if the condition was false, the root node would image towards this side. And finally, we know that the root node ends at certain points, and these certain points are actually the decisions. This helps to classify the data, make certain decisions, like many things. Like we are going to understand this in our practical project as well. So let's continue. So if at all the condition is false, then it simply does not run the code after the colon below it. And if at all it is true, then to form a decision tree, the main components are if, else if, and so condition. So once a decision is said to be true, then it goes further towards those if, else if conditions. So they too act as a tree, as now I'm going to show you. If, and then again it has two parts, and one part goes below. Then again, popularly known as elif. So please remember that elif is nothing but a short form of else if, and it again goes into two parts. and the last part which is else. So like this is just for representation purpose. There might be more than one elif condition, or there might be no elif condition, directly else condition. So this is just for representation part. So I'm also giving here one more arrow which directly redirects to else condition. So like now let's also mark down what these are actually. So this is for if at all the if condition. I hope you know the if condition in Arduino, C++, JavaScript. So what exactly is there that the condition, whatever you give in the if condition, if at all it is true, then the code written after the semicolon below it will run. And if it is false, it would pass to the elif condition, or it may directly pass to else condition if you have not given the elif condition. So if condition is true, then it would run the code written after the columns and it would make a decision, or else it might go to the elif condition if written, or if not written it would go to the else condition. So the code according to the things it would run. And if at all if condition is false, so two things might happen. As I told you, it might go to the else condition or to the elif condition. So this is too much big. Okay, I will simply select it and reduce its size. Okay, this larger select is really very useful. So I will also select this as well. Done. So true and false. And again, if elif condition is true, the same thing would repeat. That is that the condition, like the code written after the colon below it would run. And if at all it is false, then again it would go below. But this thing elif is optional. Like if you are writing a statement which can have answers to many values, like if you say me ask me a number which is between 1 to 10, there can be many answers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. 10 is like if it is overlapping then 10 might not come. If it is not overlapping then 10 will also come. So like here there are many things. So that time is when elif condition comes to help. And when you have only two options, like if I asked you give me any two numbers between 1 or 2, whole numbers, okay, not decimal numbers, irrational numbers. So that time only two answers can be possible, 1 or 2. So at this time we can use if and else. So that makes our work easier. So that is why we should know which condition to use when. So we'll also have to use the black pen once again. Okay, done. And then this is again like false. And like the whole world says that when if and else if are false, only then the else comes as true. Like else has no condition by itself, but it has indirectly a condition that whenever if as well as elif both of this condition come to be false, then else comes to be true, and the code written after the semicolon of else it would run. So this is how it all works. It is keeps on repeating, repeating, and the data which is given to it, it goes to the if condition. If true, then it is sorted. If false, it goes to the elif condition. If present, or else it might directly go to the else condition. This is how it keeps on repeating, and this is what is called as decision tree. So you can remember this, you can understand this. I hope you could understand this. So I will stop sharing my screen and I would go to another, like the coding page where we are going to code now. So this is where I'm creating a new file. Let's name it mean.py. So in what thing can we use? Okay, so in this tutorial, as I told you, we are going to explore the while loop, if condition, else condition, and basically we're going to completely explore the decision tree. So let's make a basic decision tree. Like, that is just for a tutorial purpose. After learning, you can use your own creativity. As I told you, if the condition given in front of the while loop is true, only then the code repeats itself. But the program which I'm making now, like the program which I'm making now, is nothing but basically it is uh, a loop, not loop. it asks the user for an alphabet, gets the alphabet or any character, and checks whether it is a vowel or consonant. So this is how it works, and it should repeat one million of times. Like it should never end. So that's why I'm directly giving it as true. So then definitely it is always going to be true. Then we get a some data or the first character from the user to check whether it is a vowel or not. So then we ask the user enter a character to check whether a vowel or not. So this is how it works. Not vowel or consonant on the then a space. And if you are confused with what exactly is this input, why I'm not understanding it, what is data, so please don't worry. Watch the previous tutorial in which I had explained about variables, the data types, how can one know the data type of a variable which he himself does not know by using the type command. Then what are the basic rules, not basic rules, all the rules regarding creation of variables in Python, and many things. So once this is done, since we are comparing the data with individual alphabets such as which will be Q, A, E, I, O, U, वगैरह वगैरह, so that is a big range of alphabets. Like just to compare with vowels, I need to write A, then A big, then E, then E big, and so on. It will go continue, continue, and continue. This is why it is too big. So we will directly convert the data to uppercase. So how is data convert, like the variable data? It is just the data which we are getting from the user. Data dot upper converts it to uppercase, and as you could see, it gives the value in string. And if you use data dot lower, then it converts the all the values in lowercase. So, but we also need a variable to store this value. So what we can do is that we can again use data, the same thing for doing this. Data dot upper. So it's your wish to convert it to according to your wish, and then we give a print just for some spaciousness, because when we run the code right here, what happens is that becomes too much clumsy. And then we are going to now do the main thing, which is if condition, else if condition, to categorize or like a decision tree into four parts, which is special characters, consonants, vowels, or numerical values. So for that, we first of all write if data is equal to a, or, so this is one more great thing, which is or and. So these are like brothers and sisters, both have different meanings but have some meaning. So or is like when you give a lot of if conditions, like they are somewhat related to each other. If you give so too many if conditions in one if condition, when they are related to each other, or helps you to do it. Whenever any one condition in the whole if condition is true, then the code written after the column below it would run. But if you write and, so each and every condition, like I tell you to do that and that and that and that. So all I tell you to do all that things. But if I write or, you may do this or that. I give you option whether this can be true or that can be true. Similarly, we are using data like or, so that it becomes easier and we don't need to write the if condition again and again, because this is going to be really very big. Yeah, is equal to C, or data is equal to A. Okay, I don't need to write B because we need to write A. We are just like the first if condition is just for checking whether it is a vowel, consonant or not. So A, E, I, O, or data is equal to U. A, E, I, O, U. And if at all this is true, so can you see these spaces here? These are exactly four spaces if you can see the dots here. So similarly, Python is very much indented, like it has the main thing which decides all the functions, if condition, while true condition, is the indentation. If now I don't give the four spaces and directly write the code here, it would give me error. So I would have like to have, like, I won't like to have, but I must give four spaces. So then I would write print, you have entered a vowel, an exclamatory mark. And the next thing what we are going to check is using elif, because as I told you, there are many possibilities, four possibilities, which is vowel, consonant, special characters, or numericals. So when there are more than one possibility of a variable, then what should we give? We can't directly give if or else. We also need to give some elif condition according to the condition. So elif data is equal to this, or data is equal to this, or data is equal to this, or data is equal to add sign, or add sign, or data is equal to hashtag sign, or data is equal to dollar sign, or data is equal to percentage sign, or data is equal to upper score, like not exactly upper score, but that, if or data is equal to and, okay, and sign, or data is equal to multiplication sign, or data, it is a big list, is equal to minus sign. Like one can, like some people are really too much intelligent, so they might also enter those special characters as well and see, okay, let's see now whether it is giving correct answer or not. So such people are fools. So for that I had to give all those things. So this is why coders, programmers have a really difficult times, because there are many users who try to criticize their work. If data is equal to, wow, if data is equal to, so that's little much more great. Now we'll print. So what should we print? Yes, you have an, okay, entered a special character. Please enter a alphabet to check whether vowel or not, vowel or consonant, to be more accurate. Okay, and the other, this is going to be little bit short but still lengthy. If data is equal to okay, 0, or like now we are checking for whether the data entered is numerical value or so. If data is equal to 2, or if data is equal to 3, or if data is equal to 4, or if data is equal to 5, or if too many conditions, no problem, we will do it quickly. Or if data is equal to 6, or data is equal to 7. At last done. Really feeling very satisfied. Now we will write nothing, like we will simply write, you have entered a numerical value, comma, please enter a alphabet to check whether vowel or not. Okay, done. Now the last thing, which is else part, which is going to be really very short because we have to write no conditions if you remember. So here we are going to just type print you have entered a consonant. Now, how do I know whether it is a consonant or not? Even the most foolish person in the world can also say that if the data is not a vowel, not a special character, not a numerical, like, nor, okay, not a number, then it can only be consonant because your keyboard is not a magic keyboard that you can add anything to this. So then it can be only consonant. So we'll quickly save it. We'll quickly like not indent it because it is not in our hands to indent it, but we'll add some empty spaces so that it becomes more clean in looking at least in looking part. Okay, just some spaces. Okay, done. And now we'll save it. And let's run the code in terminal. Okay. Okay. Enter a character to check whether a vowel or not. So we are coders. It's our duty to check whether our program is working as perfect as it should. So let's add some special characters. We have entered a special character. Please enter alphabet to check whether vowel or consonant. So it's working a little bit. So let's check it properly. Okay, numerical value. Telling properly. Let's add R. We have entered a consonant. Let's add Q. Consonant. One more special character. Okay, so it's really working properly, friends. If you are able to see it, this is too much big. This is okay. So now I will add one more special character and see. Okay, okay. So it's working quite good as it should. So yes, it's working much like not much. It is working properly. Okay, so like good. It's like very good. I am feeling very satisfied with my code like that. Okay, this is too small. This is good. So so, friends, if you liked my today's video, please like, share, subscribe. And today's tutorial was just about decision trees, how they are useful, how one can explore decision trees to categorize data, classify data, and make decisions. So, not only in programming part, decision trees are really helpful in day-to-day life because if one has to make a decision, such decision trees help it to make it much easier to categorize it according to need of that thing and many things. So we learned about while loop, how the condition, if at all the condition given here is true, then the while loop runs. And then we got an input from the data as taught in the last class. And we converted the data to uppercase. We can also convert it to lowercase as well, but just changing this upper to lower. Then we gave some spacing to make our code not look clumsy instead of looking clumsy as every time. And then we are making this as the main decision tree part. Like here we are getting some data and we are trying to categorize into a vowel, special character, numerical value, or consonant. So first of all we check whether it is a vowel or not. Then we check whether it is a special character or not. Then we here checked whether it is a numerical value or not. And if it is not all those things, it is a consonant. So here is how we had used decision trees using if condition, else elif condition, elif condition, and else condition to categorize the data, to classify the data, and using or, which really make the code much shorter by using or. Like if any one of this true, then it would run the code written after the colon below it. So it made our work much more easier. We also learned about how to use and, what's the difference between or and in a if or elif condition. So hope you liked my video. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you.